So the K-pop stan part of Twitter has been in a frenzy as of recent because their idol, their god, Jungkook, I think that's how you say his name, got into a little teeny tiny car accident the other day that he was completely at fault in, and I'll get more into that in a few minutes. But here's what the K-pop stan community on Twitter has been doing in response to this after this story broke out and people were catching wind of the story on Twitter. People would spam shit like this: Jungkook Euphoria, Jungkook Begin, Jungkook Happy, Jungkook Smile, Jungkook Dance, Jungkook Happiness, Jungkook Love, Jungkook Producer. You get the picture. They would spam a bunch of posts essentially like this, Jungkook, Jungkook's name, and then another word following it. To bury tweets that are about this whole Jungkook car accident story, and it's not even a bad car accident too. He just kind of bumped into some taxi driver guy. The taxi driver suffered minor injuries, and so did he. And he, in the end, admitted that he was at fault in this. He violated some traffic laws, but he wasn't under the influence of anything. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't high. None of that. And again, he completely took the blame, and he said, "Yeah, I'm completely at fault here. I'm going to own up to this, and I'm not going to be a little bitch and say that I am somehow not at fault here." But for whatever reason, these K-poppers, whatever they want to call themselves, have been in a fucking frenzy on Twitter, posting, spamming, I should say, shit like this, and trying their damnedest to bury the story for whatever reason. And I don't get this at all. I mean, it's not like he killed anyone. It's not like the car crash was serious. It's not like he was high or intoxicated at all. He took the blame. He got into a little car accident. They both of them suffered very minor injuries. They went to the hospital and they went right out because nothing serious happened. So like, what is the point of trying to bury this? What is the point of, spamming in hopes that, people won't catch wind of this? Of course people are gonna catch wind of the story, but obviously their intent is to, people see that Jungkook is trending and they want to see why he's trending, and then they see a bunch of these fucking stupid Jungkook posts with with K-pop gifts and shit, and they're like, oh, it's probably just another like generic BTS K-pop hashtag whatever. I'm gonna move on with my day, and they're not gonna know about this story. And people like Kavos and Keemstar were tweeting about this, and people were calling for the ban of Kavos and Keemstar off Twitter because, oh no, they dared say something just ever so slightly negative about Jungkook and the K-pop community in general. Well, yeah, Keemstar was kind of sort of trolling the K-pop community, trying to get a rise out of them. All right, fine, I'll give them that kind of. That's just what Keemstar does. He's a prick like that. But I don't see the problem with Kavos' tweet. Here's his initial tweet on the subject. Well, this is a problem. Jungkook, a member of BTS, caused a car accident, and now his fans are spamming keywords with his name to bury the fact he did anything wrong. This is why stans are dangerous. They can see no wrong in their idols and will do anything to cover up their mistakes. Okay, yes, sure. The car accident wasn't anything major, and I don't think he necessarily deserved to be scrutinized for this little car accident. But it's just so surreal that these K-poppers are going out of their way to hide this story for whatever reason when nothing bad happened at all, and trying to silence people. Whoever tweets against the K-pop community who's trying to silence the story, they call for the ban of those people. Like, Calvos didn't tweet anything inherently offensive or wrong in that tweet. I don't see what the huge problem with that tweet is. I don't see why that tweet exactly warrants a ban off Twitter. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like anything that could be construed as remotely negative against BTS, Jungkook, K-pop in general. These people just go fucking crazy and they try their best to just bury it or try to silence the people who are speaking out against whatever it is these K-pop people have done. Even if it's nothing that bad. Like, holy shit, calm the fuck down. Why do you need to spam keywords to try to bury the story? I've seen some K-poppers try to justify this, actually. I've seen some of them say, well, we're trying to help stop the spread of false information against Jungkook regarding this car accident, because some people have stupidly said, I should say, said the car crash was fatal, or he killed someone, or, that the whole situation was way worse than it really is. That some people apparently have been saying that, and yes, those people are stupid for spreading misinformation like that, but Instead of spamming keywords and Jungkook's name, why don't you spam the actual truth, the actual story, what actually happened, the fact that no one was seriously injured, Jungkook took the blame for this, and no harm was done in the end, and he violated some traffic laws, but again, no real harm was done in the end. He wasn't intoxicated, he wasn't high. Like, that's it. Why don't you just spam that? Spam the actual truth instead of these stupid fucking keywords, because that just makes you look really, really shitty. The fact that you try to bury anything that could be slightly remotely negative against Jungkook or any of these K-pop people, because that's just kind of shady as fuck, and that's honestly kind of scary, because let's say something serious does come up sometime down the line against one of these K-pop people. Let's say Jungkook was accused of sexual assault or something along those lines, something horrible along those lines, and what are these K-popers going to do? Are they going to do the same thing, spam Jungkook and then a keyword following his name over and over again in hopes to bury that story? Like, that's honestly scary, and to see how these K-pop people have reacted towards people who just simply reported on this little car crash story with, oh, let's genocide white people, because yeah, that's totally a rational reaction to anyone who dares say something remotely against Jungkook. But let's just say someone does come out with serious allegations against him or any of these other K-pop idols that these K-pop fans fucking drool over. I can't imagine the amounts of threats that the accuser would receive, because Jesus Christ, these K-pop fans are fucking vicious. If this is how they react to people simply talking about Jungkook's little car incident, I mean, fucking hell. Fucking hell. I mean, you didn't even see Justin Bieber fangirls react this way to people who were talking negatively about Justin Bieber when he had that DUI incident, which was actually 10 times worse than this, because he was driving high, got into a car crash, he resisted arrest. He also posed in that mugshot with this smug little smile on his fucking face, because he was like, "Yeah, I know I'm gonna be clear to this within a few hours, because I'm high on the social hierarchy, and I have all this money, so I could buy my way out of this. So yeah, I'm not like any of you plebs who would probably face serious jail time if you were jailed for the same exact thing. Fuck you." Yeah, that smug little prick. I didn't see even his fangirls react this way when what he did was way worse than this. I mean, I still saw his fucking stupid ass fangirls outside the jail when he was walking out of the jail after that incident, and they're like, "Oh my god, we love you, Justin," and they were waving their stupid Justin Bieber posters in the air. Like, when that situation is way worse than this, and I didn't even see his fucking legion of idiot fans react this way, trying to hush people, whoever who dared speak against Justin after that little incident. Now that I think about it, doesn't this story paint Jungkook in an even better light, because he wasn't an arrogant asshole about it. He wasn't a prick. He owned up to his mistake. He was like, "Yes, I'm completely at fault here. I am sincerely sorry to this taxi driver I injured," and that's it. I mean, he completely owned up to it, whereas Justin Bieber, he handled it the way he handled it. Like, wouldn't you want the story to be, more widespread and more people to know, more people knowing that Jungkook completely owned up to this incident, and that would actually paint him in an even better light, because it shows that he's responsible. Maybe not responsible when driving on the road, but at least responsible when it comes to owning up to his wrongdoings. Anyway, with all that said, I'd like to thank a YouTuber by the name of Tamimi for making a video on this subject and bringing this situation to my attention, because I don't keep up with K-pop shit at all, and I usually don't do this, but the reason I brought her up is because when I was watching her video about the situation last night, I paused at this exact moment and I got this screenshot. This is both terrifying and absolutely hilarious. And maybe it'll be the same for you, I don't know. But if I had to see this, you have to see this too. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.